Lakers, fellow Forest Lakers, Clear Lakers, my name is Shane Morkey Jr. I was born and raised on Clear Lake and Forest Lake. I attended school here, spent my childhood on these lakes, and developed a deep appreciation for the natural resources, neighborhoods, and quality of life that make this community special. While I no longer reside within the city limits, my connections in Forest Lake remain. My parents still live in the family home where I grew up, and I return regularly throughout the year. Every time I come back, I'm reminded why so many people choose to call this place home. Forest Lake helped shape who I am, and I care deeply about its future. Professionally, I spent nearly 2 decades serving the citizens of Minnesota in the public safety sphere. I hold a master's degree in public administration leadership and currently finishing my doctorate in industrial organizational psychology. Throughout the career, I learned that every major decision has consequences. Some consequences are immediate, others take years or decades to emerge. Responsible leaders have a duty to look beyond the short term and evaluate the long-term impact of decisions that they make. That is precisely why I'm concerned about this proposal. The project before us would introduce 6 3-story apartments buildings containing approximately 228 residential units. Adjacent to Clear Lake, a 429-acre lake that is already listed as an impaired body of water. Think about the scale of the proposal. Clear Lake currently has an estimated 150 to 180 residential homes on the lake. The single development would introduce more housing units than currently exist around much of the lake itself. This isn't modest growth. This is not small expansion of housing opportunities. This is dramatic transformation of the Clear Lake community. The scale alone should give every decision maker in the room pause. Because the question is not simply whether these apartments can be built, the question is whether they should be built. Clear Lake is not an unlimited resource, as many of the people have pointed out already. It is relatively small and a shallow lake with finite environmental capacity. Yet this proposal would bring hundreds of additional residents. Additional vehicles, additional stormwater runoff, additional recreational pressure, additional flow traffic, additional demands on public safety infrastructure. And for what? Who benefits? Is it everybody in this room that benefits? Who benefits in this room?
Nobody.
Your pocket.
Your pocket is right.
That is the question that I keep coming back to, because from where I sit, the financial benefits appear concentrated while the risks are distributed across everyone else. The property owner benefits, the developer benefits, the investors benefit. But who bears the long-term burden? All the taxpayers that are sitting in this room right now. The homeowners, the lake residents, future generations. The families who have spent decades paying ever-increasing property taxes to live near and protect Clear Lake will continue paying those taxes long after this project is completed. They will continue paying while dealing with increased congestion. They will continue paying while competing for access to a lake which becomes increasingly crowded. They will continue paying while public resources become increasingly strained. They will continue paying while the lake itself faces increasing environmental pressure. How is that fair? Anybody? How's that fair?
Not fair.
Not fair.
Not fair. Not fair.
It's not fair.
No.
That's absolutely right, it's not fair. So let's keep moving along here. How is it fair that the people who have invested their lives and resources in preserving the lake are expected to continue footing the bill while simultaneously accepting a development that could accelerate the deterioration of the very resource they are paying to protect?
Yep.
The lake does not belong to a developer. The lake belongs to the community. It belongs to the families who invested generations into this area. It belongs to future generations who deserve the same opportunity to enjoy Clear Lake that the previous generations left them. Clear Lake is already impaired, as people have pointed out today. That fact alone should require heightened scrutiny, not less scrutiny, but more scrutiny. Before any approvals are granted, residents deserve answers. Has comprehensive environmental impact studies been conducted? Has a watershed impact study been conducted? Has a stormwater analysis been conducted? Has the Rice Creek watershed fully evaluated the cumulative impact that 228 additional residential units may have on Clear Lake and the surrounding watershed? Has the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources reviewed the long-term implications that are associated with increased boating activity, increased shoreline use, increased recreational demand, and invasive species risks? If this study has been completed, I respectfully request that you make it public for all of us. You wanna read it? All of them.
Yep.
If they have not been completed, then why are we discussing approval before fully understanding the consequences and ramifications of this? Honest question, right?
Yeah.
The proposal also references a slip dock connected by a boardwalk across wetlands. That raises additional concerns. Who will have access to those slips? Will they be private?
500 people.
Yeah, more than that.
Will they be public? What happens when hundreds of residents seek access to take to a lake that has finite capacity? Will future expansion requests follow this? Is this just a shoe in the door? Will additional pressure be placed on shorelines, wetlands, and aquatic resources? Because you know what? Erosion happens on the lake. Are you gonna be coming and fixing our shorelines? Because there's 200 extra boats? I doubt it. These questions deserve answers before these decisions are made, not after. There's also another issue that deserves serious consideration: of historical and archaeological significance of that area, of this area. Throughout my lifetime, I have known numerous individuals who have inadvertently discovered Native American artifacts both within Clear Lake and adjacent lands. Arrowheads, stone tools,
Cultural resources.
stone
you
bowls.
know?
Yeah.
Other artifacts that point to a much deeper history than many people realize in this area. Given the area's proximity to historically significant indigenous travel corridors and settlement areas, I believe a legitimate question must be asked. Is an archaeological impact study been conducted? No? Okay. Has a cultural resource assessment been completed? I don't know, can we circle back to that, like at a later time? Okay. Have tribal historic preservation offices been consulted? If not, why not? Okay, but there's not a historical process or impact studies when it comes to history and archaeological artifacts? Okay, I'll circle back to that too. Once cultural resources are destroyed, they cannot be replaced. Once history is lost, it's gone forever. We have a responsibility to protect not only our environmental resources, but also the cultural and historical heritage that existed here long before we were all here. We must acknowledge the public safety implications. As someone who spent nearly 20 years in the public safety leadership sphere, I can tell you that population growth affects far more than housing. More residents means more traffic accidents. More residents means more emergency medical calls. More residents mean more police responses. More residents mean more fire and rescue incidents. More residents mean greater demands on roads, utilities, schools, and public infrastructure. Forest Lake Police Department will feel that impact. Forest Lake Fire Department will feel that impact. Emergency medical responders will feel that impact. DNR will feel that impact. Taxpayers, you in this room, will feel that impact. The question is not whether government agencies can absorb additional strain. The question is whether this project justifies creating it. At the end of the day, this decision comes down to this one simple question: will this project leave Clear Lake better than we found it?
Nope.
Nope. No.
Will it strengthen the watershed?
No.
Will it preserve community character?
No.
Will it enhance the quality of life for the existing residents, you people?
No.
Or will it permanently alter one of Forest Lake's most treasured natural resources while asking future generations to manage the consequences? Most likely. Because once this project is approved, there is no undo button. If water quality declines, recovery could take decades, if ever. If wetlands are damaged, they may never fully recover. If archaeological resources are destroyed, they are gone forever. Character of the community changes and may never return. The profits associated with this project may be realized in a matter of years. Consequences could remain for generations. This decision should not be about the next quarter, should not be about the next developmental cycle, it should be about the next generation. For the protection of Clear Lake, for the preservation of our environmental and historical resources, for fairness to taxpayers, for the integrity of the Rice Creek watershed, and for the future of Forest Lake itself, I respectfully urge for denial the city on all fronts of this proposal and its future forms. Thank you, and yield back.
All right. Good job.